The infant crying Sasquatch trap. A very long story short, I had an encounter back in 2016 with what I'm assuming was a Sasquatch, and a very aggressive one at that. I ended up chasing it off with a shotgun but never did get a glimpse at it at all. I'm still new to the Bigfoot scene. A couple months ago I first heard the Sierra Camp sounds on Hunted 411, and that's why I believe that my particular encounter back then was a Bigfoot. It was very similar. And I've been looking into it since. Anyway, I recently watched Small Town Monsters, and the episode that I'm referring to is the Alaskan one, and in it, as I'm sure most of you know, they talk about a human infant crying in the woods. And in their lore, it's an attempt to lure females away from their camp. Now this is unsettling to me. Because twice in the same week of my encounter, my wife heard in which she described as something that sounded like a child crying in the woods. We lived very remotely at that time, however, being a mother herself, she can say with certainty that it wasn't an actual child. Her words are that it sounded too high-pitched, strained, and just different. Way had the RCMP out there and the officer couldn't find anything or anyone. And she checked all the vacant vacation homes. Had several calls into Fish and Wildlife, and myself and a buddy tried tracking it after I scared it off, all to no avail. And never once had another incident. My wife of course doesn't believe in Bigfoot, and she was not around for my personal encounter. I am of the opinion that this particular animal had bad intentions for my wife and was angry that she was gone and took it out on my property. And I also think it was a female. I think this one was maybe migratory, because where this house is hardly nobody ever stays out in that area year-round. And I think that it's familiar with what a firearm is capable of because of how fast it retreated, and as I said, there's never been another incident since then. I've looked online and it doesn't seem like the infant thing happens a lot. Some people seem to believe that it's just made up. Is there anyone here that has experienced it? Any other stories of it happening? Am I being paranoid that I think it was targeting my wife? Post from user Davis 1891 at Bigfoot at Reddit. Comments. You are not being paranoid. There is every likelihood that it was targeting your wife. Why? I don't know. I am female, and when alone, I have felt targeted. Maybe they consider females less threatening than males? I do know they can mimic sounds, including human voices, and I have also heard other stories of people hearing infants or small children crying in the woods and dogs barking, whimpering as well. Comment from user General Antiope at Bigfoot at Reddit.